Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And do you ever wonder when you wake up in the morning, what in the heck do I have with this digital asset XRP? What is going on? What does the future look like? I'm going to hopefully give you a little bit of clarity. And we're going to start with the Juniper Research out of the UK. This is one of the oldest and most respected market forecasters and analysts. They completed a research report on cross-border payments. Specifically, they looked at the B2B. This is the business to business sector. In this sector, we know that Ripple is going to, according to Ashish Birla in the article that he wrote in June, is going to target for the on-demand liquidity using the digital asset XRP, the SMEs. Those are the small to medium-sized businesses. And what actually makes up a small to medium-sized business? Well, the EU defines them as a business that has fewer than 50 employees. And the medium-sized businesses they think are defined as less than 250 employees. And just so you knowledge, you can also find that there are the micro businesses which have up to 10 employees. But in the US, they define this a little bit different. They have maybe a broader classification. The SBA, the Small Business Association, looks, of course, at the number of employees, but they also look at the ownership structure and the earnings. So they think that those SMEs fall within 500 or fewer employees. But that gives us a really good range of what we're talking about when we hear SME. Now, this research paper, it is looking at the total value of B2B, which is to be 35 trillion in the cross-border payments up into the next couple of years. But there's some key trends that are going to be the same, no matter what size of the company. One, there is a forecast of 30% growth in transactions over the next couple of years. And also the ISO 20022, this is going to unlock even further increases. Ripple is an active member of this group that is trying to create a standardization and improvement on the messaging. And recently, I think you might know that they have been quite vocal on the delays that Swift is bringing to this group. But I think they are going to keep pushing. And an additional finding in this report is that blockchain, it's going to disrupt the existing payment types. Specifically, let's look at a quote from that report. Specifically, disrupt through the driven of requirements for increased efficiency and transparency from traditional money transfer operators. This efficiency enabled by services including RippleNet and Visa B2B Connect will be critical in enabling these operators to compete with innovative non-banking players. Operators must trial new systems now and refresh their business models, or they will lose market share in a highly commoditized post-pandemic environment. So the future looks very bright for the RippleNet technology. So why all this focus on the SMEs? Well, because they are the backbone to every country's economy. The US has 30 million. The EU has 25 million. And in both countries, 2 out of 3 jobs are from this sector. So the access to finance for them, it's not easy. I want you to listen to this cross-border payments panel from July 21st. This is the CEO of Saldo. He is providing those online loans to SMEs in Finland, and he talks to that point, how difficult it is, and he gives us some insight as to why.
Absolutely, I do, because if we look at the wider economy and we look at the requirements, how it's moving forward, the traditional banks, if we look at the rejection rates just in Lithuania for SMEs over the past couple of years, they've actually tripled. And the main reason is not because they've become more risk adverse, it's because the banks actually can choose to take on large customers rather than the SMEs. And then if the processing of the application is still the same manual long process, and they don't have the scale to process hundreds of applications per day. Of course, they will choose the large companies over the smaller ones.
So he's talking about the banks are choosing the large companies over the smaller ones because in the loan process, it takes the same amount of effort to process those loans, and they have tripled their rejection rate over the last couple of years because they basically don't find the return. But when you look at these online loan services that are focusing on their needs, it is very, very successful. That's why you see the building out of a loans product by Ripple, because there is a great demand for these SMEs to be in a space that's friendly to them. Now, why do they need loans? Well, sometimes they want to expand their business. Sometimes they want to add inventory, or sometimes they just need a bridge in their cash flow. But the fact that they don't have it easy when they work with the larger banks, it presents this opportunity. And I'm really happy to see that Ripple has identified this opportunity, and the opportunity to weave those payments in to the loans is exactly what Ashish was talking about when you are able to create a sticky marketplace, because you've got these repeat payments. And as David said too in the interview recently with the Blockdown TV, you can't just build technology and expect people to come. You actually have to help build the marketplace. So that is exactly what Ripple is doing, and I am feeling like they are right on target for that. Now, has Ripple decided to ignore the large banks? No, absolutely not. They are just catching some of the low-hanging fruit right now as the banks have been slow to move, but that also is changing. I want to show you this case in point. This is Standard Chartered. They are the big British banking giant. Of course, they made a strategic investment in Ripple back in 2016 after they became a partner with them in 2015. And on July 20th, Standard Chartered, their Singapore-based venture arm, announced that they are building a crypto custody solution. This is going to be for the institutional investor. And Alex Manson, the head of the venture arm, said that they believe digital assets are here to stay as an asset class. So they will meet the demand for an end-to-end institutional grade custody, which meets regulatory standards. This is really starting to happen. This company is going to have Metco provide the tech infrastructure, and Standard Chartered took part in this $17 million round investment to get that done. So this is one step closer to using digital assets in the traditional banking business. This is a significant step, and it's really, I think, to fully understand the adoption for big banks, it's near. It's getting very near. And using the digital asset XRP for a solution is not such a far-fetched dream as it was a few years ago. Now, the product name for this is called Silo. I want you to just know that in case you hear the word silo, you'll be able to understand, that's that investment that Standard Chartered made. So it'll enable a comprehensive management for asset security and liquidity for central banks. Yes, for the central bank. I want to look at 3 of Metco's partners. So you can see that you need to really focus on more than just the price, because this space is building out to something I don't even think you're going to recognize it in 3 to 5 years. So if I show you here, we've got Securitize, all right, Signum, and then Elliptic. There is a lot happening with those 3 partners. First, securitize. This is a company that Ripple invested into, and also SBI Holdings. They invested an undisclosed amount, but we do know that it was confirmed it was a 7-figure sum. That is not dumb money, everyone. That is some serious investment cash. This company makes tokenization of assets to create securities. This is a financial product that will be the next big wave in the space. The next partner that was on that list is Elliptic. They provide risk management by uncovering activities related to money laundering. They're headquartered in London with offices in Singapore and Tokyo. They have investors like Santander, Wells Fargo, and SBI led this $23 million fundraise in September. Okay, and Elliptic, just so you know, they identified the likely use of the Wasabi wallet service to launder some of that Bitcoin that was attained in the Twitter hack. We just learned that. And in October, I went to the CoinDesk meetup, and you can see me right behind this open sign. That's where I was sitting. And I happened to be there and was given a bad time by the Wasabi wallet guys because they knew I was part of the XRP community, and they obviously are not. Their world is not a regulated world. So in a very fun way, humorous way, actually, they had me in stitches. They were giving me a really bad time. But when I saw that they had used their product, I said to myself, oh, wow, I don't know if that's good news for their business or not. Maybe they think it is. So Sigmund. Signum is a bank that was the first Swiss bank to win the title of a cryptocurrency bank, and it also added XRP in May. And I think that they are going for a big banking license in Singapore. They were approved for their Singapore fund management license, but now they are trying to provide a full suite of services, and they applied for their banking license in Singapore. I think when that happens, as an XRP holder, you should be very, very excited. Now, I know Singapore has shortlisted their list of people that are going to be awarded that license. They haven't given out any names, but we should hear within a month or 2 or 3. I think we're going to hear probably in Q3 who they have decided on. They're actually in the process of doing video conferencing now to try to drill down, I think, as to who they want to give that license to. I think they're only going to hand out 5 licenses. So yeah, this is a story you want to follow if you're an XRP holder. So while, one of the most enjoyable parts of being a content creator is choosing the content I talk about. The reason why I chose these topics today is to show everyone watching that the crypto space is growing up, and it's growing up really fast now. The fintechs are going to transform this into a legitimate gazillion-dollar business. And XRP is an asset that has a proven role and key to the future success of these banking services. And the biggest players in this space are backing Ripple and XRP and counting on their success. So that is what you are holding. All right, we are going to look at some beautiful artwork that's being done by Bob Moneybags. He's artist extraordinaire. He's on Twitter at @FakeCoinExpert, and he is just producing some amazing work. And I want to just share with you what he is doing. You can see this is something he drew for King Solomon. King Solomon, by the way, if you're not following him, he's doing a tremendous amount of research. He's just not reading the news or just skipping across the lily pads on a lake. He's going deep very often, and he's really he's doing amazing work. You know, he took a break for a while from doing videos, but he's back doing them. And I can tell you that if you're in this space, this is somebody who I think is providing some quality content. And then also you can see this is Jungle. Oh, Bob Moneybags, you are funny. I actually think this is one of my favorites. And then he, from a request that I had, I got also a piece of artwork done. I embellished it a little bit with a necklace, which is just fun. You know, I just want to say that for this space that comes with all its sometimes uninvited drama or pains of the roller coaster, or actually we are just like we're just stuck in a sideways motion. Not only XRP, but Bitcoin too has just been stuck as of late. There's been a few projects like Tezos and VeChain that have really done well, which I'm thrilled about. But, you know, this is just not an easy space. So the fact that Bob Moneybags does this fun artwork brings a smile to everybody's face. Yeah, okay. So let's jump to some fluff, everyone. If you come to Tokyo, please find Geshuri Coffee. This is in Hibiya, which is next to Ginza, and there are 4 floors. There's a ground floor and then 4 floors above that where they serve the creme de la creme coffee of the world. They just opened last year. And what do I mean by that creme de la creme coffee? Well, they specialize in the part of production that is just only 5% in the world. This is the award-winning coffees that come different places around the world, but the one bean they have that's very famous is coming from Panama. So only 5% of the production in the world gets classified as this top of the top coffee, and you can experience it at the Geshuri Coffee location. And they do this special bean called geisha bean, and it comes from this mountain town in Panama, which is really beautiful, and it's in the Boquete region. But what you want to know about this bean is that it can sell for up to $1,029 per pound of an unroasted variety. Some shops around the world will price it at $100 a cup, but at Geshuri you can get it on ice or hot, and even in a latte for just $9 US. This is amazing. So I want you, because it's not only so difficult to find the bean, but to be able to get it at only $9 a cup, that is really quite something. It's really one of those experiences that I think everybody who loves coffee wants to do at least once. And the space itself is on the short list for one of the big design awards of 2020. It's going to be announced in 4 days, 21 hours, 14 minutes, and 12 seconds from now who wins this design award. But I am just rooting for Takeda Katsuya, because his floors within this coffee shop are all part of what could land him the design award. This is a designer who's Japanese, and he lives in Milan. So let's just see if he can win the 2020 award. You can see to the left here, that's what the coffee shop looks like. If you do get to Hibiya, you know what to look for. And I'll put a link to the Takeda Katsuya's projects in the description below, because he's got a lot of really great design projects that he has completed. I love this part of the design world. The commercial art space is the commercial design space for me is, I think, most exciting. All right, everybody. Yeah, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.